Welcome to the It Factor. We're Jemmy and I, exploring a new blog post by Mr. Len Kaplan, CEO of CDML, an MSP in Queens, NY, offering network management, VoIP and UCAS, cybersecurity, compliance, IaaS, cloud, and Microsoft 365 at Azure. If you're a small business owner or manage IT for a growing organization, this episode is for you. Stay tuned.
You know, for small businesses, it always feels like we're looking for easier ways to get things done.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And sometimes we try to take these shortcuts that seem clever at the time,
Right.
sharing logins for email or cloud accounts.
Right, because who wants to deal with all those different passwords and accounts,
Exactly.
But this blog post, it really digs into how that seemingly harmless quick fix can actually lead to some big problems down the road.
Exactly. What might seem harmless, like sharing an email inbox with your team, can actually expose your business to some serious risks.
Okay.
Think about it. If everyone's using the same login, how do you even keep track of who did what? It's a nightmare if there's a security problem, or you need to figure out who sent a specific email.
So, lack of accountability.
Yeah.
That's a big one. Makes sense. The post also mentions phishing and hacking risks.
Right?
How do those tie into shared accounts?
So think about it. What happens if a hacker gets a hold of those shared credentials?
Oh, no.
They suddenly have the keys to the kingdom. They can get into your emails, your customer data, your financial information, everything.
It's wide open.
Wide open. Plus, let's be honest, when everyone's using the same account, that password is probably not the Fort Knox of passwords, is it?
Probably not.
It's easy to remember, but also easy to crack.
Yikes. That is scary. And we all know that data privacy is a huge concern for businesses these days.
Yeah.
The blog post specifically mentioned HIPAA, NYDFS, and PCI DSS. Can you break down why those are relevant to this conversation?
Absolutely. Let's say you're a healthcare provider, right?
Okay.
And you're using a shared email account to talk to your patients. That could be a straight-up HIPAA violation. HIPAA has really strict rules about protecting patient health information.
Okay.
Same goes for financial businesses. NYDFS, that's the one governing financial cybersecurity in New York.
Oh, okay.
It requires you to be able to tell who did what, individual accountability, they call it.
Right.
Shared accounts completely ignore that.
So even if you think you're saving time and money by sharing accounts, you could be opening yourself up to some big fines and legal problems.
Exactly.
Definitely not worth the risk.
Yeah.
And the post also talks about business disruptions, particularly when employees leave.
Oh, yeah.
What's that all about?
Imagine an employee leaves, and it's not on the best of terms.
Oh, no?
And they still have access to all your shared accounts.
Oh, boy.
That's a huge security risk.
Wow.
Or let's say you change the password on a shared account, suddenly your whole team is locked out.
Oh, man.
Talk about chaos.
Yeah,
it's a mess waiting to happen. But, the good news is this blog post doesn't just point out the problem. It actually offers solutions.
Okay, great.
And it all starts with something super simple but powerful.
What's that?
Creating individual user accounts for everyone.
That seems obvious when you hear it.
Right.
But I bet a ton of small businesses are still in that shared login world.
Probably.
What about those cases where you need people to work together, like on a customer service email inbox?
That's where you'd use something like Microsoft's shared mailbox feature.
Okay.
It lets multiple people access the same mailbox.
Right.
But, and this is key, everyone uses their own login information.
I see.
So you still get to use a shared inbox without sacrificing security.
Makes sense. Now, the post also mentions a whole bunch of other security measures.
Yeah.
Multi-factor authentication, role-based access control, password managers.
Right.
It's a lot to digest.
It is.
Can you walk us through some of these, explain them in a way that makes sense for someone who's not, a tech wizard?
Of course. Let's start with multi-factor authentication. Think of this as an extra layer of security.
Okay.
Even if someone gets their hands on your password, they still can't get into your account without that second factor of authentication.
Okay.
Which might be a code sent to your phone or a fingerprint scan.
Like that extra step to verify it's really you.
Exactly. It's like having a security guard check your ID at the door, even though you've got the key to the building.
Oh, I like that.
And then you've got role-based access control.
Okay.
This is all about making sure that people only have access to what they absolutely need to do their jobs.
Makes sense.
So your marketing team might be able to see social media accounts and marketing stuff,
right?
But they don't need to see sensitive financial data.
So it's like each person has their own set of keys that only open the doors relevant to their role.
Exactly. And then there are password managers.
Sorry.
These are lifesavers, honestly, especially when you have so many different accounts.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
create strong, unique passwords for each of your accounts and store them securely. So no more remembering a zillion passwords.
Oh, thank goodness.
And no more writing them on sticky notes.
Yeah, I've been there.
We've all been there. The post also mentions session timeouts and geofencing.
Interesting. What are those?
These are basically extra security features you can use,
Okay.
especially for things like your cloud platforms.
Uh-huh.
Session timeouts log users out after a certain time if they've been inactive.
Okay.
So if you step away from your computer and you forget to log out,
Yeah, I do that all the time.
it's not a security risk because the system will automatically log you out.
Oh, that's reassuring.
And then there's geofencing.
That sounds intense.
It might sound futuristic, but it's pretty simple.
Okay.
Think of it as an invisible fence around your company's data.
Okay.
Geofencing lets you restrict access based on where someone's trying to log in from.
I see.
So if someone tries to log in from, say, a different country,
Yeah,
it raises a red flag.
that makes sense.
It could even block the access.
So it's like you have a virtual border around your data.
Exactly. Now, these all sound great,
They do.
but I'm sure you're thinking,
Yeah.
most small business owners probably don't have the time or the knowledge to set all this up themselves.
You're reading my mind.
That's where a managed IT service provider, like CDML, comes in.
Well,
We work with businesses to assess their needs and figure out the right security measures for their unique situation.
so they take that burden off your shoulders.
Exactly. So you can focus on running your business.
So they're kind of like the IT superheroes that every small business needs.
Pretty good, yeah.
Speaking of CDML, they're the ones behind this blog post, right?
That's right.
What's the main point they want people to walk away with?
At the end of the day, shared accounts might seem convenient in the short term.
Yeah.
But they're a recipe for disaster.
Okay.
Investing in proper security might take a little more effort up front,
Right.
but it's an investment in the long-term health and safety of your business.
Protecting your data, your customers, your reputation. And it doesn't always have to be some big, scary data breach, you know?
Right.
Sometimes it's the little everyday things.
Yeah.
An employee accidentally deletes something important.
Huh.
Or, like we said, someone who doesn't work there anymore still has access.
Exactly.
Those things happen way more often with shared accounts.
Absolutely. It's not always about some hacker out there, you know?
Right?
Sometimes it's just human error, plain and simple.
Yeah.
Or carelessness, and shared accounts make those risks even bigger.
So for those small business owners listening, maybe feeling a little overwhelmed by all this,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you really want them to take away from our deep dive today?
I think the big takeaway is this. Shared accounts might seem like an easy way to do things, but they can actually lead to a lot of problems.
Okay.
Taking the time to set up proper security might seem like a pain at first,
Yeah.
but it's an investment in your business, you know?
It's protecting yourself for the long run.
Exactly.
It's like they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
I love that saying.
Right. And you don't have to do it all alone either.
That's so important.
There are experts out there like CDML.
Absolutely.
They can help you navigate all this security stuff.
For sure.
Well, I think this has been a really informative look at why shared accounts are just not worth the risk.
I agree.
Hopefully our listeners are feeling ready to make some changes and beef up their security.
Yeah, knowledge is power, right?
It is. And in today's world, that means understanding these cyber risks and taking steps to protect yourself.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on The It Factor.
Stay safe out there.